We are live at halftime at the Norwegian Championship final. Eidsvoll 1814s against Lura Bulls. 10-6 is the score. Our usual expert Jarle Magnus Henriksen is part of the Lura Bulls training staff. Obviously, we want to be neutral. So therefore, we have Edvin Jensen, wide receiver for Nidarosdomers, and official referee as well. Eivind Sommerseth, center and executive of Tromsø Trailblazers. I'm Jesper Hagen, writer. We're all writers for Amerikansk.com. Yeah, Vin, what's your thoughts about the game overall?
I like this first half. I thought it was fun. I think I'd like to see more from Lura's offense. I thought they had some trouble getting the football running on the ground, but I quite liked the things they did on special teams. I mean, the punt return, of course, and then this great fake punt. That was fun, of course. So.
We've seen some good stuff from Harry Peoples, which leads us to the next point. Edvin, you've been watching both teams' defenses.
Well, it looks like the Eidsvoll 1814s are blitzing a lot. They want to put pressure on Peoples, but also keep him in the pocket. There's huge openings between the coverage people in the 1814's defense, and you've seen Peoples exploit that several times on passes over the middle and up the seam. I'm surprised that they're not trying to do this more, as without Simon Sommerfeld in the backfield, they're obviously a lot weaker running the ball than they were earlier in the season. And conversely, if we look at the Bulls defense, their defensive line and linebackers are, they've been teeing off and getting good penetration on the offensive line, but they're having troubles containing Harris when he gets to the outside. And as we saw, that was a touchdown run and a long run up the sideline in the second quarter. So for the Eidsvoll defense, they want to try and maybe play some more man coverage and keep the receivers in front of them, not get beat deep. And for the Bulls defense, I think they want to try and contain Harris and keep him between the tackles, where they can have Williams and maybe even Peoples from his safety position come up and plug the gaps.
We've seen, in my opinion, some surprisingly creative play calling from 1814s. I saw some screen passes, and I think I saw an end around as well in the first half. Were you surprised?
Well, you kind of think that the 1814s are more of a traditional team, I guess, but yeah, they did have this end around with their Stoltz
Scoreboard, yeah. I think if you look at game tape of Eidsvoll this year, they started the year off very conservatively on offense, and as quarterback Eivind Brekke has become more confident in his abilities to lead the offense, they've also been able to unleash more of the playbook, and we see that particularly in the previous two games the 1814s played against the Nidarosdomers, where they did the jet sweeps, the end arounds, but also a lot more passing. So I do believe that Eivind feels a lot more confident at the end of the season now than what he did earlier, and that's part of the reason I believe that they think that they can beat the Bulls not just by pounding the rock with Harris.
Definitely. Speaking of the second half, what would you like to see Lura Bulls do more to get into this game?
Well, the Lura Bulls, I think they need to get something going on offense. They're having a good day in the air, I think, but they're not that much of a threat on the ground, and that's it's tough when you get all one-dimensional, you know. So I would try to get something going on the ground there at least.
Try to get something going on there. And you, what do you say to the Bulls?
I say the Bulls, they need to exploit the holes in the coverage, get the ball to Barkovic and to Badla across the middle, run 4 verticals on Eidsvoll. It's been working all year. Brian Morrow is back there at safety for the 1814s, and we know he loves to hit people, but those receivers just need to hang on the ball. They can get 12 to 14 yards at least every time. So, and even if Eidsvoll is blitzing, Peoples is quick enough that he can get the ball out before the rush gets to him when running forwards. So for the Bulls, they just gotta exploit the holes in the coverage and keep Peoples clean for 2.5 seconds. That's all he needs.
And we know 1814s need to respect the run threat of Harry Peoples.
Absolutely. I'm surprised that he hasn't taken off more. Although the first play from scrimmage when he was almost sacked and incomplete or pass downfield was pretty good by him. But again, if you see Eidsvoll, they're pulling number 41 Riley Bowen further back into pass coverage more often because they do not respect the run game of the Bulls without Simon Sommerfeld in the backfield. And if that should happen more often, maybe run some draw plays and then some quarterback draw plays and then have people take off when Riley's already downfield in pass coverage.
Ivan, 1814s, more of the same in the second half?
Well, it hasn't really been working all that great for them, though. I mean, at least offensively, I think. They've had a couple of great moves from Aaron Harris when he gets to the outside, as I mentioned. But other than that, the Bulls have been able to contain them. I think the 1814s. I don't know. They'll need to.
I think they need to mix it up on their offense and continue what they're doing on defense.
Definitely. Yeah, on defense, they're doing really.
All right. Well, the teams are actually entering. Let's get to some predictions for the game. Edvin?
If the Bulls can continue to pass and exploit Eidsvoll's secondary, I think they have a chance at coming back and winning this. But if Eidsvoll's defense keeps it up, plays solid, and they get Harris on the outside and maybe complete a few passes over the middle to Arne August Skogor or even screens to the running back Gerhol, then I think Eidsvoll's going to be winning this. I think Eidsvoll's a more solid team. I think in the end they end up pulling out a close one.
A close one. Any score prediction there?
No. Maybe let's go with 24 to 20 then.
24 to 20. A close game.
Yes.
I'll agree that Lura will get back into it, but I also think 1814s will stick to their tight defense and do just enough and hang on to a tight win, probably in the range of what had been predicted. Ivan, your prediction?
I ain't gonna be talking about the scores or anything, but I think the 1814s are going to win this. Actually, I think just from their sheer sort of how do you say routine. This is their fourth final in a row. You know, they've been here before. They're gonna grind something out in the second half, and they're gonna win.
Well, second half is shortly kicking off, so enjoy. Yes.
Ute.